everyone, welcome back to Rebels TV. This is the Manchester United. This is the Everton. This is Manchester United preview. We're doing this a bit late at night, it's 12:05 a.m. But you know what? That's the dedication. You got a show for running a fan channel. You got to do it whenever. You got to do it whenever you need to. And yeah, and it's a weekend night as well. It's a Sunday anyways, and it's during my vacation. Well, actually, last day of my vacation, so gonna try to enjoy tomorrow, and hopefully the results will make me enjoy that day even more. Well, actually, it's at 11:30, so by the time the game ends, it'll be Monday. But whatever, let's get to the game. So yeah, we're gonna be up against Frank Lampard's Everton at Christian Park, a pretty iconic ground in the football world, in the footballing world. Because it's not like it's not like the Emirates Stadium or the Spurs Stadium, and I'm not saying good stadiums, but like the history in the tradition there. It's not there like it is with Everton, because like with Everton, the stadium hasn't really changed that much at all. It's still the same as it was probably 100 years ago. I'm not completely sure about that, but it's very traditional and historic ground, and it's always nice seeing us play there. Well, not always, because we actually don't really. There have been times where Everton have smashed us at Goodison Park. I'm pretty sure they smashed us 4-0 once, which probably wasn't fun. So yeah. Um, of course, we're talking about the game. I think that talking about Everton this season, I think they've been a pretty decent team. Um, and this Arthur Melo, wow, he's out for 3 to 4 months. He's just joined Liverpool. All the best to him. Bloody hell, he's just joined Liverpool. There goes his World Cup hopes as well. Sad. So yeah, anyway, back to Everton. They've been pretty good this season. Actually, in fact, in the last 3 games, they've gotten 7 points out of 9 points. Out of 9 games, 9 points. They drew against Liverpool, which we all knew. Everton's Jordan Pickford produced a masterclass. Hopefully, we won't see that tomorrow. And of course, they also managed to beat Southampton, and they beat another team. So they beat Villa as well. I think they beat Villa. Wait, I'm gonna check. Who did Everton play in their last game? Yeah, apologies for not doing this research beforehand. Oh yeah, West Ham. They're a respectable side as well, especially with the signings of Kieran Lucas Skamaka and a few others, and Southampton as well. I mean, they signed the likes of Bella Kochap and all them. So, and Southampton arguably had the best transfer out of all the teams in the Premier League. So, and they managed to beat them. So, and Everton managed to beat them. So, Everton are not a team to be taken lightly. But in one interesting player for Everton is Alex Iwobi. So originally he played as a winger for Everton, and he turned out to be a flop. Basically, like a lot of fans were like, "Oh, Everton bought him from Arsenal, now he's a flop." But he's adapted his game to the midfielder role, and it really suits him. And now they have a midfield three of Onana, um, who was it? Oh yeah, Idris Gay and Alex Iwobi. And that midfield, I think it's gonna be where the game is won and lost. That's like for most games. I think that will especially be said for tomorrow, because Idris Gay, Alex Iwobi, and what's his name? Onana. All three of them are very strong physical midfielders who have a lot of energy in them. So our midfielders are gonna have to step up tomorrow. And I'm not really sure what midfielder Ten Hag's gonna go with. I know he's gonna start Casemiro, because he even brought Casemiro off at around the 78th minute against Ammonia to probably give him a rest for this game. But I'm not sure who will start along with him. I'm not even sure if Bruno will start, because I don't think Casemiro and Fred are the two players who we can't really judge them, because like Casemiro played well and Fred hasn't played that much, so we can't really judge him. Personally, I would go for Fred and Casemiro. I mean, that's a midfield combination that seems to work for Brazil, and I don't think Eriksen hasn't really played well in his last 2 games. Maybe he's tired. Bruno hasn't really played well as well either, so I think and also of course dropping the captain would also like be a huge statement. And we've seen this with Ten Hag; he's not afraid to drop players. And against Brentford, the defense was the problem. He tore that defense apart and put together a new defense of Malacia, Martinez, Varane, and Dalot, and that defense pretty much got us 3 wins, no 4 wins, I believe. But yeah, 4 wins back to back. So pretty good that. And yeah, so I think it's going to be a really interesting game tomorrow. And of course, I think Everton this season, they seem to be a side who struggle to score goals, but they are pretty good at defending their goal. Of course, with the signings of James Tarkowski and Connor Cody, they've immensely strengthen their back line. And of course, they already had that decent fullback combination of Michaelenko and Coleman, two pretty decent fullbacks, and of course Coleman, Everton's captain as well, James Coleman, Irish international. But their attack is where they've been lacking this season. Demarai Gray, of course, we all know he's got good talent in him, but he's struggled to stay consistent. And this season, he's only gotten one goal in 8 games. So he hasn't really been on the best of form this season. And of course, he signed Ian Mopey. I was actually surprised. I thought he was going to go to Forest, but no, he's gone. He's gone to Everton. And I mean, he's only played 3 games and then gotten one goal, so we can't really judge him yet. And Mopey doesn't really have a bad record against Manchester United, so we might have to boss out with him tomorrow. And Dwight McNeil, of course, the former Burnley player. He was bought from Burnley, and we all know he's a pretty good talent. But this season, he has been that great for Everton, to be honest. I mean, in 8 games, he's only got one goal. And both their wingers have a total combined 2 goals in 8 games. A bit sad, to be honest. And no wonder they're struggling to score goals if that's the output of the wingers. They also have Rondon on the bench, who's got no goal contributions this season. Of course, there's Anthony Gordon, and he did score against us last time we faced him at Goodison Park. It was a nightmare of a game, man. It was a nightmare of a game. And he scored as many goals as Andre Gray and Dwight McNeil this season. So Gordon might get a start tomorrow, so we're gonna have to be wary of him. But yeah, and of course we're talking about Jordan Pickford as well. He's played England's international, normally plays really well for England, and for Everton, yeah, I know. I don't think he's that bad for Everton as people say he is, because I know he has some howlers here and there, but there have been times where Pickford has produced masterclasses for Everton, and I know he's probably produced more horror shows than masterclasses for Everton Football Club, but still, we know, I think it's gonna be tough to get past him tomorrow, because I think on his day he's a pretty good goalkeeper. I remember he's had some pretty decent performances against Manchester United, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see how he does, how attack does tomorrow against the likes of him and others. So yeah, that's enough talking about Everton. Now let's talk about Manchester United with the starting 11 at our pick for this game. So 4-3-1 from this kind of formation going to be using. So in goal, of course, David De Gea, no questions asked. But not for now, at least. Where the hell is the hair? Okay, that's what happened to hair. Man, I've been using this for almost a year now, and I still haven't gotten the full hang of it. Sad. Right. Centre backs. I think I really hope Vardane's available, and I'm gonna assume he is available. But I know that Ten Hag doesn't really like starting players when they're on fully fit, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Victor Lindelof tomorrow. But I just don't really. That mistake, I saw the goal again, but that touch from Lindelof for the second ammonia goal in our last game, that pretty much cost us. So I think that Lindelof is not a bad centre back, but I think, of course, I would prefer Varane over Lindelof, and I really hope he's available and fully fit for this game. I read somewhere on Twitter that from a Manchester United source, I think, and it said that. A journalist, said that Varane is expected to be back for the Everton game, so hopefully that will be the case. I also read that Casemiro is expected to start a game, and hopefully that will be the case as well. So right back, I'm going to go for Diego Dallo, of course. Wan-Bissaka, I don't think he's fit. But oh yeah, by the way, Van de Beek is back in training. I hope we're going to see him at least on the bench tomorrow. And it's fitting as well, against his former club where he was unknown as. He scored against Arsenal for Everton on the last day of the season, I believe, and he did help them stay up. So I think Everton fans probably have a kind of special place for Donny Van de Beek in their hearts, but hopefully they do. And I think Van de Beek, I'm pretty sure he does have a special place in his heart for Everton. And I know he was injured for all of his Everton career, but he still had some good performances for them. So yeah, nice thumbnail. What did you use to make it? I didn't actually make the thumbnails. One of our other members, Yusuf, made a thumbnail. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure he uses PixArt to make his thumbnails. So yeah, there you go. I'm glad you like them. So yeah, there of course that's speak for right back. Yeah. So left back, I would actually go for Luke Shaw. And last year he hasn't really. Last game he Sancho and Malacia were both at fault, and I'm sorry for not saying that. In my match reaction, I said Malacia didn't do anything wrong. He did do something wrong. I thought the goal was all on Sancho, but it was also on Malacia. I mean, Sancho makes a hospital pass to Malacia, but his response and touch that pass was pretty dreadful, and it was kind of a horror show from both of our left-sided players, Sancho and Malacia, that led to Ammonia's first goal. And he didn't play well against City either, so 2 games didn't play well. I think it's time for Luke Shaw to come back in, and he is a senior left back. And let's not forget with Malacia. He's a 12 million pound signing, and we've got him in for developments. Okay. We've got him in for developments, and I think he can develop into a great player. I think out of all of our signings, he's the most development player, if you know what I mean. He's like a player who we didn't really get for that much, but we can develop him into a fantastic player. Anthony Sancho, I'll discuss that when I get to the front three. But yeah, I think Luke Shaw, being a senior left back, just start this game and hopefully plays well. Like, because that's what competition plays is all about. If Martinez has 2 or 3 bad games, how Maguire comes back in or Lindelof comes in. That's how competition for places works. No matter how good you are, if you have 2 or 3 bad games in a row for Manchester United, they're getting drops. That's how it should be, and that's how it is on the Ten Hag, which I like. So the midfield duo, yeah, Luke is good, even international wise. Yeah, he's been playing well for England as well. Yeah. So the midfield pivot, I would actually go for Fred and Casemiro. I'm not sure if you guys are going to agree with me on that one, but that's what I would go for. I think this duo works pretty well for Brazil, and I think it would be a good duo for us to use in this game. And I just simply think that's this midfield duo will actually be pretty good for tomorrow. But what Fred? Yeah, I would go for Fred. I mean, because like if you think, I mean, like Eriksen hasn't played well in these last 2 games. I think I would give Eriksen a rest because I think it might be a bit too much football for him right now because he just came back from international duty with Denmark. He played both of their games, and then he played in Manchester Derby for 90 minutes, and then he played most of it. I think he played for 90 minutes against Ammonia as well. So I think it might be just a bit too much football for Eriksen. And granted, Eriksen did play decently well in the second half against Ammonia, but I still did think he played that well. So I think Eriksen deserves a rest. I don't think it's his fault. I just think he might be burnt out, and that's why he hasn't played well in his last 2 games. As for Bruno, I just think he deserves to be dropped. He didn't play well against Manchester City. He was dreadful against Ammonia, in my opinion. And yes, I know for the first goal, it was his long ball that led to the Rashford shots. But still, by that time, he'd already given the ball away like a million times. He has to learn to stop these Hollywood passes and start to control the ball more, retain possession. That's what Ten Hag football is all about. And I know we're not playing Ten Hag football exactly right now, but he's gonna have to learn to keep possession, like Eriksen. So yeah, and I mean at Cam, I mean I just talk smack about Bruno, but realistically, who else can we put? Because Eriksen, as I said, probably need a rest. He's tired. Van de Beek just came back from injury, so I don't think Ten Hag will start him. So it's got to be Bruno, hasn't it? Um, so yeah, of my front three now. My front three, I think this is a pretty reasonable front three. I would go for Marcus Rashford because he was man of a match against Ammonia. At striker, I would go for Anthony Martial. Got a second goal. It did really recently well in the game against Ammonia. And Anthony, because in this last game, what I loved about Anthony's performance is that he learned from his mistakes. In the Manchester derby, Sancho and Anthony didn't track back at all, and that's why our defense had to deal with so many Manchester City players going forwards, and that's why we conceded so many goals. Do you guys have a Discord? Well, yeah, I think we do. I think we had a football server called the Football Alliance, but it's kind of dead now. We don't really chat that much on there. But I mean, I'll put a link in the chat if you really want to. I think it's not really active right now, but I'll still put it in the chat today. I'm gonna link to the Football Alliance Discord server. So yeah, but I mean, you could still go on there if you want to. But and there are still people online there, so if you want to chat with some people, you can certainly do so. Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So I think Anthony. What I loved about Anthony's performance is he learned from his mistakes. Sancho, yeah, as I said, Sancho and Rashford, Sancho and Anthony, they weren't striking back. But in the last game, I think Sancho didn't learn from his mistakes. and he didn't properly track back and help out Malaysia, which may be one of the reasons why Malaysia didn't really perform well in its games against both Omonia and Manchester City. But against Manchester City, when Anthony didn't track back, Delo didn't really look like he had a good game. But against Ammonia, Anthony tracked back and he was doing solid defensive work and helping out Delo. And after the game, and both Delo and Anthony both had a good game, and that was because Delo was supporting Anthony going forward, and Anthony was supporting Delo with defending. So both, that's how it should be. The fullback should support the winger when they're attacking, and when they're defending, the winger should support the fullback. That's how it should be, in my opinion. And that's exactly what Anthony did. He learned from his mistakes, and for that, he should definitely keep his place. And also, when he was on the ball, he looked like a threat to Ammonia. So yeah, and I would drop Sancho for this game because right now Sancho has not really played well for some time, and I would just say that he deserves to be dropped for a few games. I would say that if I were Ten Hag, I would tell Sancho that listen, you haven't played well for these last few games. I know you had against Arsenal, you won that great. Wait, no, wait, okay, no, he didn't start against Arsenal, my bad. But against Manchester City, you didn't track back. Against Ammonia, you didn't track back either. And still learn from his mistake. You did not. Therefore, I'm dropping you. You're going to get your chance. Don't worry. And I think this is something that should be addressed to all Manchester United players in the squad right now. You're going to get your chance. At some point, there probably will be a drop off in the performance of some player, or they may get injured, or just or even or in the cup, or no, welcome to the stream, or maybe in the Europa League or something. You will get your chance, and if you take your chance, you're going to get rewarded. And that's what I'll be saying if I were Eric Ten Hag to every Manchester United player in the squads, because places now, which I like, and now we can say stuff like this: that if you don't perform, you're going to get dropped. If you're going to take your chances when you don't perform, you're going to get back in the team. So yeah, and this is what happens in Manchester City. This is what happens in Chelsea. This is what happens with teams who have a lot of squad depth. And I wouldn't really say we have a lot of squad depth right now, but we do have some decent squad depth, especially with the signings we made in the summer. So yeah, so this is the team I'll pick for Triple Goodson Park against Everton. De Gea, Martinez, Varane, Shaw, Padillo, Vera Fred, Casemiro, Fernandez, Rashford, Martial, and Anthony, and Bruno taking the captain's armband, of course. And I think one thing to talk about, I think, is Ronaldo. I think this morning, I think it was uh, the Duncan Castles, who are kind of, I don't really know if I would call them credible, but they're a source. They said that Ronaldo apparently, I dare you to compliment Liverpool. Nah, nah. Just nah, yeah, no. So yeah, and I mean, I can't even compliment them at the moment. At the moment, they are total shite. So how can I even compliment them? They're not even that good right now. So yeah, what was I talking about? Ronaldo. So Duncan Castles I think they tweeted out that Ronaldo is unhappy with Ten Hag in his training sessions. Now, and they didn't even tell which sources it's coming from, and I actually think this is false because it doesn't make sense for Ten Hag to I support City. Okay, good for you, man. Good for you. Good for you. Do what you want to. Good for you. So yeah, I think that Ronaldo, he wouldn't do something like that. Ronaldo would not leak something like that because Fabrizio Romano, all the credible journalists have said that he's very professional and he will not even think about his transfer to another club until the January transfer window, or even till the summer. Because Ronaldo's always been like that. He's always, whenever he's at a club during the season, he will always do everything he can to make the club win. But in a transfer window, that will be a time when he starts making these decisions. He will not make a decision. Well, okay, he probably made a decision, but he will not do anything unprofessional during this season. He is a total professional, and he will stay professional for the rest of the season. But hopefully, I think he will. Though I think he will. And Eric Ten Hag, I don't think that's no reason because Ten Hag has said that he wants to keep Ronaldo, and he's reluctant to let him go in January. It's been leaked this from the club. It's been this the sources out there on the internet Ten Hag does not want Ronaldo to go in the January. I just think this I think this is stuff that's being leaked from the dressing room, and I just don't think it's good at all. So yeah, and I think Ronaldo, after Ronaldo, I think his performance against Ammonia was a bit underrated, to be honest, because I know he should have scored at least one or two goals. I can't deny that, but he got an assist for a Rashford goal, for Rashford's second goal, and overall, probably his best game of the season. And I know we were up against Cyprus Farmers, but still, he had a good overall good performance overall. And being a striker is not only about scoring goals; it's about hold up play, creating chances. And Ronaldo did that pretty decently well, in my opinion, against Ammonia. And I won't tell him tomorrow because I just take up Martial's spin in. I think Martial played better in that game than Ronaldo, and Martial came off the bench. So yeah, and I just think I would sell Martial of Ronaldo tomorrow. However, Ronaldo off the bench, sure. I mean, having Cristiano Ronaldo as an option on your bench is absolutely fantastic. I mean, what if it's 0-0 in like the 75th minute and you have Ronaldo to bring on? You can bring him on and fall. He can score a hat trick because that's just Cristiano Ronaldo. And yeah, so yeah, I think that's about it. I'll end the stream soon. Right after I give my score predictions for this game. Score predictions. I'll go for 1-0 win to Manchester United. I think it'll be a tight game. I don't think we'll concede a goal. I think we'll keep it clean sheet tomorrow, especially for Ramsdale's. However, I think we might struggle a bit breaking down their defense, which is why I think we'll only manage to score one goal, maximum two goals. I can't see this being more than a two goal game, to be honest. I think we'll keep a clean sheet, especially for Ramsdale's, and I think that will score. I think we're gonna struggle, but I do think we'll manage to win this game, and I think we're gonna have to play well to win this game. Everton are a well organized side, and we're gonna have to play well to beat them. So hopefully we play well tomorrow, and hopefully we get a 3 points like Goodison Park. So yeah. Anyways, guys, that's all for today's stream. If you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, turn on post notifications to be notified when we upload our next video. Don't forget to join our watch along. Today, I think it's today for me because it's AM right now. It's 12:27 a.m. for me. Don't forget to join our watch along today for the Everton game. I'll be there, of course. I'll try to get someone else on, but it's a bit unlikely. But still, try to get someone else on and see what happens because watch alongs are more fun with other people. That's from my experience. So yeah, I'll see you guys for the Everton watch along. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.